My favorite part of coming to join is to really spend time with all of you data nerds like myself and just get to understand how you're using the product. I think, I talked to some folks yesterday, and I was so excited about what they'd built that I decided I wanted to share it with you all as my first slide because it really lines up with how we think about the vision for Looker. So if you'll indulge me, I want to tell you about a cool use case I heard yesterday. So I met someone who works at a clothing retailer, and they're using Looker. And what they've done is, on the one hand, like something I think is just fundamentally kind of cool. They built like a real-time view of all the inventory across all of their stores, right? That's kind of a neat thing. You can get alerts when inventory is getting too low, right? I think that's awesome. But they took it to the next level, right? And what they did was, after they joined all that data up from sales and inventory, they also joined it up with their customer data. And then they created an iPad application and gave that to all of the store managers and all the people on the floor in each of those stores. Now, this is really cool because it means that when a customer comes in the door, they get kind of a personalized experience. You know their clothing size, you know their style preferences, you know if it's their birthday so that you can give them some free gift cards. You can do some really cool stuff with that. And it's not so much about the technology that comes together to make this all happen. Right, there's some complex stuff going on behind the scenes. We're talking about real-time data across 100 retail stores, all coming together, being modeled and put in the hands of a sales associate. That's all really cool and complex, but the reason it matters is because that sales associate now looks like a hero. And the reason that they look like a hero is because they are being empowered with the data that's coming in from their business. And I want you to keep that in mind as I talk about the future of Looker and the future of data. The world really has fundamentally changed. You've heard every speaker on stage, I think, talk about how things used to be. I'm going to do it one more time, because things used to be different. So I remember 5 years ago, I was learning like MapReduce and trying to run Hadoop jobs. I would never have imagined a world where I could pump 20 terabytes of data into something like BigQuery and be running machine learning clustering algorithms on it that only took 5 seconds to run. I would never have imagined 5 years ago when I was writing some of my first ETL scripts, to join Salesforce and marketing data. At that time, that was fairly complex for me. My boss thought I was a hero. I would have never imagined a world today where our company, Looker, has 200 SaaS applications, and the average enterprise company has more than 1,000. And of course, we're being asked to join all of that data together, too. I'd never, you guys may not believe this one, but 5 years ago, this did happen to me. My boss said, Nick, what's a data engineer? And today, we have entire teams of people whose entire job depends on working with data in some way. We've got data scientists, data engineers, of course, we've got analysts, quantitative marketers. I have been to companies, and I bet many of you in the room are guilty of this. I have been to companies with no less than 3 different departments who all claim that they are the data team, and they all have different definitions of some core metrics. So if you could have predicted all of this 5 years ago, I mean, amazing. You're Nostradamus. I couldn't have predicted it. But what I can tell you, it is amazing. It means that we are actually, what's the way that I like to put it? The data nerds have won. That is the way the world is today. What? Come on, y'all. Give yourself an applause for that. The data nerds have won. And the reason for that, it's not just us trying to convince people anymore. People don't need to be convinced. Your exec no longer needs to be convinced that data matters. They're not asking why. They're asking, how do we get it done? When can we get it done? And then, for many of you in the room, why haven't we already done it? That is the world we're in right now. And the cool thing about this is the technology is advancing so quickly. You can build just amazing data architectures so rapidly right now. You've heard the story from New Wave. I mean, there's some amazing stuff coming out. But I think that means that the challenge for us all has now shifted, right? Maybe the data infrastructure is getting easier, but the demand certainly is ticking up. So I think that's where the real challenge is. You now have widening demand from people who aren't analysts, who all need data in some way to get their jobs done. It's not just coming from the executive, it's coming from everyone, all the way down through the organization, down to the front lines, down to that store manager greeting customers at the front door. And what this means is that ultimately, if you want to realize the full benefits of an awesome data infrastructure, you have to think more about how things connect. You have to think more about the platform. You have to think about the data experiences that sit on top of all of it. Because ultimately, what we're trying to do is get data into people's hands so that they can get their jobs done. All right? Now, we got a slide error here. Well, obviously, this wasn't always the case. Now, there was a time when the lone analyst was kind of the hero of the data universe. All questions went through them. They were the kind of sage who you had to go through to ask your questions. But now we're seeing increasingly that anyone can become a hero with data. And for the analysts in the room, for all of you in the room, it's now your job to empower them with data. Like the data heroes of the past are now responsible for creating the data heroes of the future. Now, our vision is to empower people through the smarter use of data. Looker is going to be the platform that helps you do that. Now, there are 4 things I want to tell you that we've got to do that you should all think about to make this happen. Now, the first, our data ecosystem is just rapidly evolving. Like groundbreaking, powerful new technology is emerging like month to month. And new SaaS applications, new data sources that you want to connect to. And of course, you all want to take advantage of all of it. You don't want to leave anything on the floor. So the first thing we have to do is make sure that the data infrastructure that we build is flexible. That means it can connect to any database, any SaaS source. You don't want to be locked into any single vendor either, all right? And what do we mean about smart? What do we mean about smart infrastructure? Well, more than giving you flexibility and choice, we believe that smart infrastructure can help you make the right choices, all right? If you're using Looker, we know your most commonly used data sources. We know how expensive queries are. We have whole hosts of information about how your organization is benefiting from data infrastructure, and we can help you make better decisions. Now, second, I'm sure all of you are seeing this, like modeling has become a team sport, all right? I have talked to companies that have tens, and I'm not kidding you, like hundreds of people doing modeling simultaneously in LookML. Now, this is incredibly exciting because think about it at a higher level. What does it mean now? It means that we're not just joining tables anymore. We are now joining entire departments together through data modeling, all right? And that means that businesses now really are operationalized and run on data. And when data becomes that valuable to an organization, it becomes special. You almost have to treat it as if it were its own type of product. Right? A high-quality product. Data has to be complete, consistent, has to be widely available. There's got to be one trusted view, all right? And it has to touch every important data source to run the business. Now, the teams who are managing and touching that data model also have to be given the tools they need for collaboration, rapid iteration, testing, monitoring the effects of any changes. This is how we can scale data modeling, not just between department to department, but to enable the entire organization. All right? The third, business intelligence has to go to the people. Now, you guys, I'm not going to convince you anything other than like dashboards and reports will always be with us, all right? We're always going to have dashboards and reports, but if you ever like kind of monitor how your dashboards or reports are getting used by the average user, they're often taking things out of your dashboard and popping it into some other productivity or collaboration tool. So it behooves us then to ask, like, hey, what are our end users like really trying to accomplish with our BI tools? And is there any way that we can help them get that done? So it turns out, yes, all right? Rather than demand people always move into a BI dashboard, a BI report, we're going to have to approach it from the other way around. Why don't we take BI and integrate it into tools that people are already using for productivity and collaboration? This means thinking about Slack integration, G Suite integration, Microsoft Teams, Office, the whole host of tools that our workers are using every day. We want to make sure that data finds itself into the right context for people to get their work done. Now, we can do even more. We can go even further, all right? And this is this idea of data experiences, all right? Data doesn't just have to be backward-looking. It's not just dashboards and reports. It can be used to help people make decisions in the moment, in real time, integrated into applications that help them get their work done. So this can mean a lot of things to different people. If you're a warehouse manager, it means maybe understanding the inventory and perhaps being able to restock. If you're a marketer, maybe it means figuring out the right cohort of people to send your newsletter to. Maybe you're that store merchant I talked about earlier, and you're just trying to give every customer who walks through the door the best possible experience. So we can't anticipate all of the ways that you're going to use our platform to build experiences, but we're excited to give you the best possible tools to do it. Now, the cool thing about all of this is that it's already possible today. Like, you guys are already building amazing things. Some of you who attended the hackathon yesterday, I was blown away by some of the stuff I saw there. So Looker customers are already creating amazing experiences on top of our platform. I thought I'd share my favorite example because it's not just about data. It also speaks directly to how much impact data can have on the world. So I'll give you guys one quick example. This is the Office of the Inspector General, U.S. government, a customer of ours. And they're trying to fight the opioid epidemic ravaging the United States. And they've built an application that 1,600 non-technical caseworkers can use. They get, every morning they walk in, they open up this little application, and it gives them a real-time report that flags over prescriptions in different parts of the United States. And then they can dive in, investigate, follow up with the physicians, and figure out what's going on. The important thing about this story is that loop, that quick loop I just described, used to take 3 weeks, all right? And they have reduced the analysis, the flagging, the outlier detection down to minutes, all right? And what the real result of this means is that the data is being used to save lives, and that is super important. So I love this story. And I think that it really inspired us to maybe go a little bit further for Join. So I thought we would do something special, and I hope it works, in the spirit of data for good, and in the spirit of showing you the powerful applications you can build on top of the Looker platform. We wanted to do something special for Join. So I'm going to need some help with this demo. Please join me in welcoming our Chief Data Evangelist, Daniel Mintz, to the stage. Daniel Mintz, please come on up.
Stand, let's do your fire. Hey, let's stand, let's do your fire.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Whoa, let's stand.
All right, we're gonna tempt the fates here and do a live demo. So, as Nick said, Looker is often being used for good, and we thought we could do a little good with data right here. In order to do that, the reason we want to do that is because it is wonderful to see you all. This is amazing. We love bringing this community all together. It's amazing to sort of get to talk to all these people, see what people are doing, learn from each other. But as Frank, I was watching when Frank asked at the beginning how many people came from outside the Bay Area, how many people flew internationally. That's wonderful, but let's be real, there is an impact to all of that travel, and we thought we should try to offset that impact. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect a little data in real time from you all, and then use some of the features from Looker 7, which you'll hear more about tomorrow, to sort of visualize that and do some stuff. Sound good? So if ever, some people have already found the survey. I don't know how they've done that. Let's bring up the QR code. If everyone could go to join2019.live, or if you have a magical phone that can read QR codes, you can do that. And Nick, if you would be so kind as to do this yourself, here we go. We can bring up can watch Nick fill out the survey while you all do it. So there we go. All right. So there's our lawyer's message. You can go ahead and start. So I put in that I came via airplane, but how did you get here?
I took a lift. I'll do
Okay.
that. Yep.
We need to know what zip code you came from.
Okay. I'll do that. 94105. Let's do that one.
Awesome.
All right.
You are sitting on stage, which is not one of the options, or standing on stage. But if you were in the left section, the left center, the right center, or the right, if you're in the back, you'll just have to kind of pick one.
I'm feeling the right side of the
You're
room.
feeling no, that's the left side.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right. They're left.
Stage left.
Stage left.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
confusing. How long have you been using Looker?
I have been using it for 1 to 2 years. I'm going to go with
Okay,
that.
awesome. And you can just put your phone number there, so everyone, if they have problems with the product, knows how to get in touch with you. All right, you could take down that before he types the last number. Oh no, that's not. Yeah, all right. You could just. One answer needs completing.
Oh, I didn't finish.
All right, and for all of you, if you fill out your phone number, which I encourage you to do, we promise we will send you one text message. It's part of the demo, and then we will delete the number forevermore. If you do not fill it out, that's fine too, but then you're not eligible for the cool thing that happens at the end, okay? All right, so data is streaming in. Thank you all, that's great. We're up to 640 responses. Very cool, it's still coming. Let's see where people have flown from, what interesting places. Oh, we've got an Australian. We have, oh yeah, all right, somebody's clapping about Australia. We've got some folks coming from India, some folks coming from Japan, Spain, France, the UK, a Romanian, excellent, okay. And we can even see where people are sitting in the building, very cool. And we can start to get a sense of whether longtime users are traveling further. And it seems like most people did, in fact, take an airplane to get here. 2 people did take electric scooters, so awesome. Cool, so these are our new dashboards that you're going to hear more about tomorrow. But now that we have the data, that's good. That's a good start. But now we need to do something with the data, right? We want it to be actionable. So we've actually built a little app right inside Looker, which is something, again, you'll hear more about this tomorrow, to do something with this data. So we can bring that up, and we can see how much carbon was actually produced by our travel here. It is 3 blue whales worth of carbon, and we'd like to offset this, right? So we're going to say we want to offset all of it, and this data is actually being pulled in directly from the surveys that you've just filled out. Do you all want to get home? Yes? Yeah? Okay, you do. Okay, great. So we're going to double that. Let's double that. 221. Whoops. 21. It changes when I type. Okay, great. So we've doubled it so you can all go home eventually. And now we have 6 blue whales worth. Great. So let's estimate how much it would cost to offset that. $531, $32. I think we can handle that. So let's purchase some carbon offsets. So we've done that now, and we've now offset your travel here by buying renewable energy credits from the Bethel Wind Farm in Castro, Texas. But we want to do one more thing. It looks like about 500 of you gave us valid phone numbers. So now's the part where I actually send you a text. So we've got a data action built with Twilio, and I'm going to blow up all your phones, I think. So most of you will get a text message. I'm going to hit confirm and let it start going. Most of you will get a text message that tells you how far you traveled to get here and how much carbon you individually put out. But 2 of you are going to get a very special, different text message. One of you is going to get one telling you that congratulations, you've won a cool Looker bomber jacket. And the other person is going to get a text message telling you that you have won a zero-emissions vehicle. Now, I know what you're all thinking. We're in a former car dealership, but it's not a Tesla. It is cooler than a Tesla. And actually, Olivia, would you show us our zero-emissions vehicle? Awesome. Here comes Olivia on our zero-emissions vehicle. That's right. It's your very own Looker branded skateboard, and she's wearing her bomber jacket. Thank you, Olivia. So if you're one of the two people that got that text message, it will tell you how to pick up your gear. And that's it. So you don't have to worry about your carbon imprint from getting here, because we have taken care of it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, man. Wow. I can't believe that worked. So awesome. Hope you got a taste of what is coming in the Looker 7 announcements tomorrow. You get to see this vision made real and all of the new features. Looker 7 is about a robust framework for building any sort of data experience you can imagine. We've got a scalable enterprise-ready architecture, and of course, we're continuing to work on powerful analytical tools right out of the box. It's an incredibly exciting time to be a Looker user. So I'll just say thank you. Hope you enjoyed hearing me talk about the vision. Thank you, Dan, for that awesome demo, and thank you all for being supporters of Looker. Thank you.